Inside China's shadowy bioweapons unit, creating weaponized coronaviruses, bacteria bombs, and anthrax ready for World War III. China is feared to have spent decades illicitly researching biological weapons at dozens of secretive sites ahead of a potential apocalyptic World War III. The vast country is home to at least 50 covert labs where state scientists are thought to have manufactured deadly bacteria bombs, stockpiled deadly pathogens such as anthrax, and even probed weaponizing coronaviruses. Fears about what is going on behind closed doors on China's shadowy biolabs come as questions continue to rage over whether COVID may have leaked from lab in Wuhan. Evidence mounts to suggest as well that COVID may have tinkered with, but China denies all allegations of wrongdoing over the pandemic. And it comes after documents obtained by the US show that the People's Liberation Army commanders believed future battles could be fought with bioweapons. The leaked paper stated biological and genetic weapons will be the core weapon for victory and outlined the perfect conditions to use them. US State Department officials also sounded the alarm in a partly declassified report first published in April, which states Washington is concerned about the possible biological threat Beijing. The report warns the close connections between Chinese military and civilian labs raises concern that biological research could be dual use. It states China is also believed to have had a historic bioweapons program, including weaponized resin, botulinum toxins, and causative agents of anthrax, cholera, plague, and tularemia. US officials questioned whether China is complying with Biological Weapons Convention, a disarmament treaty that effectively bans the bioweapons which was signed by China in 1984. However, despite this treaty, Beijing has seemingly been quietly looking at potential of biological weapons for decades. Available information shows China engaged in activities that raise concerns with regard to obligations under Article 1 of the BWC. The report states, noting that additional information is classified, and a worrying review by US scientists in 2002 pointed to multiple sites allegedly involved in the research of deadly toxins and pathogens. Chemical and biological weapons will be scourge for generations. One lab in Yan has feared to have been working on 4 types of bioweapons, including bacteria grenades and smoke-type bacteria bombs. Others in cities including Changchun, Kunming, Chennai, and Wuhan were said to be involved in the research and cultivation of various biological warfare agents. The US Department of State later reported identified 2 facilities thought to have links to an offensive biological weapons program. It apparently pointed the finger at the Chinese Ministry of Defense Academy of Military Medical Sciences Institute of Microbiology and Epidemiology in Beijing and the Lanzhou Institute of Biological Producers. China later insisted that the former was a biodefense-focused facility and the latter is a vaccine production facility. In addition to these sites, it was estimated there were at least 50 other labs and hospitals being used as biological weapons research facilities. The report suggests China has an advanced capability for deploying and dispersing aerosolized biological weapons. This is especially worrying as aerosolized diseases are the most contagious and have the potential to infect the largest number of people. However, facts about what is happening inside these highly guarded state-run facilities is virtually impossible to pin down. Total secrecy. Dr. Monica Chansoria, senior fellow at the Japan Institute of International Affairs, said China's secrecy and ambiguity on these subjects remains unparalleled. She told Japan Forward, if Chinese writings on chemical weapons are sparse, the case for any information on biological weapons is even worse. Although the Chinese government has declared past chemical weapons related activity to the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, the information has not been made public and remains strictly classified. The 2015 president of the Academy of Military Medical Science, General He Fuch, stated biotechnology will become the new strategic commanding heights of national defense. He worryingly went on to become the vice president of the Academy of Military Sciences, which leads China's military science enterprise. In 2017, an edition of Science of Military Strategy published by the PLA even ran a section about biology as a domain of military struggle. It mentioned the potential for new kinds of biological warfare to include specific ethnic genetic attacks. And just later, a chilling unconfirmed report emerged which said Beijing had struck a deal with Pakistan military to expand potential biowarfare capabilities. The Times of India cited a report which said the plan involved several research projects related to the deadly agent anthrax military deal. It was claimed that Wuhan Institute of Virology signed the secret deal with Pakistan Military Defense Science and Technology Organization DESTO. Intelligence sources were reported to have serious concern about the project said to involve China testing biological agents outside its borders in an apparent bid to minimize the risk of drawing condemnation from the international community. One senior source reportedly told that Clarkson Dexto has been engaged in various dual-use research projects related to anthrax under a covert biological weapons program. There has also been growing fears over Beijing's resistance to international monitoring of the work taking place inside its secretive state labs. Chemical weapons expert Hamis T. Breton Gordon said China has thwarted all attempts to regulate and police its laboratories where such experimentation may take place. He is now calling for the introduction of an early warning system to prevent future pandemics. China kept secret for 7 days, which allowed millions to spread it around the world, he told The Sun online. He also said if Beijing is working on biological weapons, that is clearly a threat to world peace. Mr. D. Breton Gordon said, I think we need to see biological hazards as a threat to the 21st century in the same way that the atomic science was to the 20th century. Chemical and biological weapons will the scourge for generations. Thank you.